Hello everybody, Earth.Otherwise here to continue our journey into game programming in C++ start to finish by Eric Yazwa. Writing code to interface with different types of hardware and operating systems sucks and doesn't do much, so forget that shit and use SDL and glue. They do most of what we need right now, and they have tons of add-ons if we need more. Today we download and set up our directories so that we can use SDL and glue. This is Windows only cause I ain't no casual and Linux is a bitch to run games on. Some of this shit might not work on Mac OS or Linux. You need that info? Read the guides on the sites I'm linking to. Also, I say directory and directories a lot, but that has too many syllables. From this point forward until the end of the post, directories are now buckets. Now, I could have you do this the easy way and download the engine and the project from my GitHub account, but if you're already here, you've already chosen the harder path, so suck it. First, SDL 2.0, then glue. I think it's like 1.12 glue at this point, or something, links below. Download the most recent development library bucket on the SDL website. Find the most recent glue version from the news section of the glue download page, and follow the link to get a win32.zip file. Extract the SDL development file and the glue zip file. Stick them wherever. We'll be deleting them once we have what we want. Make a new empty project so that we have file locations for what we're about to do. Here we'll choose where our solution bucket will be. I keep mine right at the top of the C drive. It lets me use longer file names. In that solution bucket, make 3 new buckets. One may already exist. If so, do not create a new one. These are release, debug, and dependencies. You can change the name of the dependencies buckets if you need to appease the snowflake within. Just remember to substitute that name when I tell you to add the dependencies bucket into an option. Inside that dependencies bucket, create an include bucket, a lib bucket, and an SDL bucket. These names are also optional, but they're also standard, so stick with the standard names. Open a second file browser window, or don't, and navigate to the SDL devel. You know, the one we got at the beginning. And looking at this script, I say SDL devel a lot, so I'm replacing it with the word squiggin. Deal with it. Copy the contents into the SDL bucket that we just made. Go into Squiggin's include bucket and copy the files inside to an SDL bucket that we're making in our include bucket. Are you getting tired of me saying bucket yet? I hope you're following closely. Go into the lib bucket in both our solution bucket and the Squiggin bucket. In our lib bucket, we will create another pair of buckets, release and debug. Some libraries come with special library files. We will store those files in the debug bucket. In the Squiggin bucket, there is an x86 and an x64 bucket. We will be copying the .lib files from the x86 bucket into both our lib buckets. Then we need to back out to our solution bucket. Copy the .dll file that's in the Squiggin's lib bucket into both our release and debug buckets. And that's that for setting up our SDL files. Now we'll do the same for glue. Inside the include bucket, within glue, we'll find a GL bucket. Copy that into our include bucket. Then we pop into the lib folder, deeper into release, and finally into Win32. Win32 and x86 are the same for our purposes. Copy the .lib files into both our lib buckets. Finally, the DLL file in the glue bucket is stored in a different place than in the Squiggin bucket. You'll find it in bin, release, Win32. Copy the DLL file into both our release and debug folders in the solution bucket. With that, we will now have the necessary files to run a program which uses SDL and glue. Next, we set up our projects so that they are able to actually use the code in these files. I hope you were paying attention and could follow that. Visual instructions are on screen if necessary. This has been Earth.Otherwise. Thank you for watching.